To quote a good friend of mine in the industry, there's no such thing as a drum emergency. So we will only send the product out when it is done and correct. Yes, it takes a little longer sometimes, but perfection takes time. I'm Jay Jones, owner of Noble&Cooley Company, and we are located in Granville, Massachusetts. The company was founded in 1854. Mr. Noble of Noble&Cooley made some toy drums for his friends and family for Christmas in 1853. He thought he had a good idea and talked to his lifetime buddy, Mr. Cooley. They incorporated the business January 14, 1854. The first year together, they made 631 drums, and shortly after the Civil War, they had a factory, 70 employees, and were producing over 80,000 drums a year. Mr. Cooley was my great-great-great-grandfather. It's been a wholly owned family business for the 160 years. The owner today is myself, my wife, and my son, and it's a real pleasure to be able to work with your family every day. We have manufactured toy drums every year of our existence, but what we're focusing on now today are high-end steam-bent musical instruments. When we diversified into the music industry in 1983 to 84, my designer and I decided the world did not need another mediocre product. And if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. And a lot of it is hands-on, attention to detail, and make a product that goes to tape beautifully. Phil Collins played our snare drum. We've had our drum sets on tour with Paul McCartney and different drummers for a lot of different name bands. There are 37 steps to build a steam bent drum from start to finish. Each individual step is pretty easy to do, but when you combine them, it's an art. The steam bent product that we're making today is being bent on machines that were designed and built in the 1870s. The product starts off as a blank piece of wood, 1/4 inch thick, 8 inches wide, pointed on the end for the taper joint. It's put in the steam chest and put 10 pounds of steam on it to soften the product. After 4 hours, you can actually take red oak and tie it in a knot. The shorter time from the tree stump to us, the better, because it heats faster and it bends around a product. But then we have to age it and cure it. And then once it dries, we can then glue the lap, glue the inside hoops, and turn it into a drum. After the Second World War, in the drum industry, everything was about speed of production in the entire U.S. and to make something faster and cheaper. So most of the drum products went to plywood cylinders at the time. It was much easier to laminate a bunch of thin pieces together, bake them once, and have a plywood cylinder to make a drum. Once you start crisscrossing all those individual plies and gluing them together, every manufacturer's drums basically sound the same. I feel the special sound of our drums is the clarity of pitch, and every drum has its own character. Different species of wood have different sonic characteristics. A maple drum will sound different than an oak drum. A lot of country players like a nice big fat backbeat, so they're going to use a tulip or oak shell. Where an orchestra player wants it bright and very sensitive, they're going to go more the maple or the cherry. You just don't go out and start building a product like this overnight. And having 160 years of history behind us, the processes that have evolved over time, the diversifications that we did and then brought back, it all adds to our history. Knowing that we are putting our hands on every piece of product that goes out of here, that's very rewarding. We're a Noble&Cooley company. Our small business has been doing big things since 1854.